Hi, I'm Roger. Welcome to this edition of Book Break, or should I say Boo Break? Because it's October and that means Halloween is coming, so I'll be sharing some scary stories with you from this collection of short stories called Scary Stories 3, More Tales to Chill Your Bones by Alvin Schwartz. And there are 3 volumes of short scary stories. We have them at the library. They're geared towards grades 4 and up. Come on in and check them out. Now, let's get started with some scary short stories. This story is called Strangers. A man and a woman happened to sit next to one another on a train. The woman took out a book and began reading. The train stopped at half a dozen stations, but she never looked up once. The man watched for a while, then asked, "What are you reading?" "It's a ghost story," she said. "It's very good, very spooky." "Do you believe in ghosts?" he asked. "Yes, I do," she replied. "There are ghosts everywhere." "I don't believe them," he said. "It's just a lot of superstition. In all my years, I have never seen a ghost, not one." "Oh, haven't you?" the woman said, and vanished. This story is called Footsteps. Liz was doing her homework at the dining room table. Her younger sister, Sarah, was asleep upstairs. Their mother was out, but she was expected back any minute. When the front door opened and shut, Liz called, "Hello, Mama!" But her mom didn't answer, and the footsteps Liz heard were heavier, like a man's. "Who's there?" she called. No one replied. She heard whoever it was walk through the living room, then up the stairs to the second floor. The footsteps moved from one bedroom to another. Again Liz called, "Who's there?" The footsteps stopped. Then she thought, "Oh my God, Sarah is in her bedroom." She ran up the stairs to Sarah's room, only Sarah was there and she was asleep. Liz looked in the other rooms, but found no one. She went back down to the dining room, scared out of her wits. Soon she heard the footsteps again. They were coming down the stairs into the living room. Now they went into the kitchen. Then the door between the kitchen and the dining room slowly began to open. "Get out!" Liz screamed. The door slowly closed. The footsteps moved out of the kitchen, through the living room, toward the front door. The door opened and shut. Liz ran to the window to see who it was. No one was in sight, nor were there any footprints in the fresh snow that had been falling. And that's Footsteps. This next story is called Faster and Faster. Sam and his cousin Bob went walking in the woods. The only sounds were leaves rustling and now and again a bird chirping. "It's so quiet," Bob whispered. But that soon changed. After a few minutes, the 2 boys started whooping and hollering and chasing one another around. Sam ducked behind a tree. When Bob came by, Sam jumped out at him. Then Bob raced ahead and hid behind a bush. When he looked down, there at his feet was an old drum. "Sam, see what I found?" he called. "It looks like a tom-tom. I bet it's 100 years old." "Look at the red stains on it," said Sam. "I bet it's somebody's blood. Let's get out of here." But Bob could not resist trying the drum. He sat on the ground and held it between his legs. He beat on it with one hand, then the other, slowly at first, then faster and faster, almost as if he could not stop. Suddenly, there were shouts in the woods and the sound of hoofbeats. A cloud of dust rose from behind a line of trees. Then men on horseback galloped toward them. "Bob, let's go!" Sam shouted. He began to run. "Hurry!" Bob dropped the drum and ran after him. Sam heard the twang of a bow firing an arrow. Then he heard Bob scream. When Sam turned around, he saw Bob pitch forward, dead. But there was no arrow in his body, and there was no wound. And when the police searched, there were no men on horseback, and there were no hoof prints, and there was no drum. The only sounds were leaves rustling, and now and again a bird chirping. And that is Faster and Faster. Scary Stories 3, More Tales to Chill Your Bones. And there's more in the series at our library. Check it out, and I'll see you again for another Boo Break or Book Break. Take care now.